Another interesting and complex case we treated with aligners that I would like to share some insights about it. Okay, this is a case where we have narrow maxilla, a functional deviation of the lower jaw to patient's right side, and also a very important crowning in the lower arch, as you can see here. Okay, where also we have this class 3 relationship in her left side. Okay, so cases like these, where we have a lot of malocclusions, a lot of challenging movements that we need to solve, one tip is to not try to do this in one set of aligners, okay? To try to finish in a great position and also achieve a great occlusion, solve everything in one set, because this is simply is not going to be possible, and sometimes we're going to lose tracking. In this case, we decided to focus in opening space by expansion of the maxilla, and also in the lower arch, distalizing the third quadrant, expanding posteriors, opening space to solve the crowning. Let's take a look in the software. Okay, we treat this case with Invisalign, and we have here the plan. Let me put in the initial position. Okay, and let's see first the upper arch. Okay, so we have here the upper arch. This case for expansion in adult patients is something we can do with a good predictability. Okay, we did some minimum staging because of the midline that we need to change to her right side. Okay, was one of the goals of the treatment, and you can see here that it was included also the bite ramps. I already commented about this strategy in another post. It's very important when we need to expand posterior, distalize one quadrant. The bite ramps will help a lot to remove the occlusion interference, opening space for these movements. Okay, in the lower arch, let me move myself a little bit to the other side. Okay, let me bring the lower arch. This is the final position of the software, the clean check. Okay, and we have here an important crowning, almost one crown missing in terms of space. Okay, and the whole idea is for us to distalize the third quadrant to open space to solve the anterior crown that we also need to intrude. This way, bite ramps, amazing tip here for us to achieve a better intrusion force. Okay, so when we need to move one quadrant distal, we have only one way to do this, through sequential movements. Okay, in this case, take a look in this new strategy here. We place a button, okay, and we are recommending also the use of this skeletal anchorage here with a buccal shelf, so patient can fix an elastic to the button, to the tab, and this is going to make this movement much more predictable. Okay, so this is what we did for this case. Okay, in the upper arch, expanding. In the lower arch, we were distalizing third quadrant to later open space to solve the crowning. Okay, so moving back to the other software, now we finished the first set of aligners, and this is a great moment for us to do a quality control. So first, in the upper arch, we have this initial position, and now we are here. Okay, look how much with aligners we could expand the upper posteriors. Okay, an amazing improvement in terms of space between premolars and molars, and this is a key factor for airway issues. When we have reduced distance between these first premolars and first molars, less than 27 millimeters in the premolars and less than 34 in the molars, we have, or the patient has, higher chances to have some airway issues. So it's always important to open more space, never reduce. This is why I don't like to extract premolars, and I avoid as much as I can. Okay, so this expansion allows us to open space also to expand the lower arch. Okay, and this was very important because this patient, in the initial position, we can see that the mandible is kind of blocked in this unique position, more deviated to the patient's right side. Okay, and after we expanded the upper arch, look how much space we are opening here, allowing the mandible to move to her left, where the TMJs, the condyles, are in a better position. because we need always to test where it is the central relationship for the case, okay? And by doing this and using the strategies we use for the case, look the difference in the lower arch, how we have it right now. One thing I would like to reinforce here, we didn't promote this more forward movement, forward position of the lower jaw by orthodontics. This was a functional movement. After we unlocked the mandible, we allowed it to move more forward and to patient's left, achieving this occlusion that we have at this point, okay? Much better. Of course, remember, it wasn't our goal to solve intercuspation and occlusion contacts, okay? We are going to focus these in the second set of aligners, okay? But now a complex case, it's now a simple case because it's much easier for us to solve this case after having the mandible in this position, okay, and solving the space issue, okay. Another interesting view here from this software, when I bring the initial models, okay, I'm going to put a slice view for you to visualize here, so you can see that in this angle, the incisors here, they are kind of blocked with the position of the upper centrals, okay, and this is avoiding the lower jaw to move forward, okay. And after doing the expansion of the upper, look how much forward this lower jaw moved, okay. We're talking about 1 millimeter more forward, which opens space for the tongue, open space for airway, and this is very interesting for cases like this. So the lesson here, okay, for cases like this, complex, where we have crowning, functional deviation of the lower jaw, the need for distalizations, the need for expansions, we need to focus in our biggest problem, to open space, to allow teeth to position better with this space through the expansion and distalization of the third quadrant. Using the proper strategy, of course, in this case the use of bite ramps, sequential movements was very important, and also skeletal anchorage, right, with the mini implant in the buccal shelf in the left side. Focusing in these main movements, we could now get to a position for the second set that we have a huge probability to finish this case in 2 sets, okay. This is the tip I would like to share with you, okay. First, turn a complex case into a simple, to then finish the case, and don't try to finish all your cases one set, because probably this is something that is going to be frustrating for you and the patient. See you in the next tip. Bye bye.